Modi ora e te whānau. Welcome back to the Practice Run, your frontline pass to the heart of sports action, brought to you by 99 Dreams, inspiring others to chase their dreams. With your hosts, Rawiri, Tu and who knows, sometimes Vincent. We're diving deep into the thrilling world of NRL and Rugby League today, and who knows where the game will take us tomorrow. From the try line to the sideline, we've got you covered.
So strap in as we tackle the big plays, the game-changing moments, and the stories that define legends. Whether you're a seasoned vet or this is your first hit-up, the Practice Run is for everyone. Every run, every tackle, every win, experience the rush with us.
With exclusive insights, couch analysis, and a touch of humour, the Practice Run is here to keep you entertained, informed, and part of our practice squad. Because here, every practice run takes us one step closer to glory.
The Practice Squad, where every listener is MVP, powering our play every episode, every day. We'd also like to give thanks to our 99 Dreams for powering our passion. Now let's kick things off with today's lineup.
And we've got a great show for you guys in store today. We're going to go over the final four teams that we've got left to preview, which are the Bulldogs, the Broncos, the Tigers, and the reigning champs, the Penrith Panthers. We're also going to do a bit of a would you rather. We're going to just throw out some crazy ideas like would you rather this or that. Play along at home, whānau. Let us know down in the comments. Leave some comments for the Cuzzies. Leave us some love. We'd love to hear from you guys. And, you guys help keep us coming out with some new content. Episode 6. We've made it 6 episodes so far. There's also some big news. The Kiwis today just signed the legendary Stacey Jones to be the new coach of the Kiwis. So, we're going to dive into that very shortly. But as always, let's kick things off with a little bit of paper, scissors, rock. All right. We're 2 apiece now. We went 5 rounds on Tuesday's episode, so let's hope Thursday's a little bit better.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully someone gets his first go.
That'll be scucks, to be honest. All right. 1, 2, 3, shoot. And lift it up.
Oh!
Finally! Nice.
Yeah.
He got it. He got scissors. I had the paper. Nice. Good play. All right, well, you kick us off then. Would you rather?
Yes. So I've just written down a few here, but I'm pretty sure we'll just go back and forth.
Yep.
Yep. So my first one is just to see where's your head at. So would you rather the Tigers win the NRL comp or the Bulldogs win the NRL comp?
The Broncos is the only choice.
No.
And if my second choice was the Warriors.
Not the question, mate. Not the question.
I'd rather lose every bet for the rest of the year.
Just got to pick one. The Tigers or the Bulldogs.
You know what? Just because Benji's the coach and he's a Māori, so I'm going with Benji. Has a Māori coach ever won a grand final? That's a stat.
I don't know if a Māori coach has ever been to the finals.
Yeah, Steve Kearney, isn't he Māori?
Yeah, when did he?
Wasn't he assistant coach? Not proper coach, but assistant coach.
Oh yeah, probably. I'd say so.
So then, like a head coach, surely that's a stat. So I'd have to go Tigers just because of that stat. If you guys had a Māori head coach, I'll go for you fellas.
Fair enough.
Yeah, look, my one is exactly as I said in the chat. Where is it? Would you rather take the first hit up in a grand final, running full pace off the back fence into a prime Sunny Bill, shoulder tackles are allowed? Or would you rather catch a hospital pass above the head, and as you catch it, you've got Steve Matai giving you the her of a rib tickler?
Oh, bloody hell. End up in hospital either way. I'll probably say off the back fence only because if someone's throwing me a hospital pass, we're going to have the talk about that later. Who's throwing me a hospital pass, man? That's
Probably
not
Hiku.
We will have words.
Yeah,
And I guess on if I could run off the back fence, I'll just see Sonny Bill probably just knock it on. Oh, my bad.
No, you got to take
it
the
out
hit,
of
full
it.
contact, full contact.
Take the hit.
It's a grand final.
Yeah.
You don't want to knock it on first play.
Why not? Better first play than the last play. Hey, Ben Hunt.
Arch. So, what would you rather do? The off the back fence?
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I'd hate to get hit by Steve Matai, man. He was called the Hitman for a reason.
But a hospital passer, that's just rude. That is rude. Okay, well, that was similar to that one. So, when I asked that one. Oh, yes. Okay, so would you rather there be a transfer window in the NRL or that you could just do straight up trades?
I'd like to see trades only, because I don't watch enough football, so I don't quite understand how the transfer window works, or I don't think most NRL clubs have the cash to make those transfers work. Because I've played a little bit of FIFA, and I always just throw the bag to get Neymar every time. So I don't know if NRL clubs have enough money to throw the bag and secure. But that would be an interesting thing to see, like outside of a trade, like just have a transfer window and then all of a sudden you've got Reece Walsh going to the Panthers and you've got Cleary going to the Tigers all of a sudden, just because clubs have some money to throw around. But everyone will end up at the Roosters. Obviously, they got unlimited funds. So that'd be kind of dumb. Whereas a trade system, within the salary cap could still work. Who's a good example of a decent trade? Well, we've got a whole bunch of centres at the moment, which I'll get to later on in the show. Well, centres and wings, because Cobbo was going to play on the wing, but, it's come to light that he wants to play in the centres, and he's actually pretty good in the centres. So now we've got, Dean Mariner, we've got Shucks. Who else did they bring on to Pereira to come on into the centres and wing and stuff like that? So, packaging up some of those guys, the Warriors with all the sixes, packaging some of those guys up and getting a need player. For us, it'd probably be a reliable hooker or a solid prop. But yeah, I'd like to see a trade window. What are your thoughts on that? Before we move into another one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see trades that could happen and how teams would work around it. Like, do you give up? I don't know. Say you give up your superstar for maybe some future people who you think are going to be stars, right? Or you give up someone on a big money contract to free up space, and in return you take like 2 or 3 players on lesser contracts. I mean, you'd be looking at. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Dragons would love a trade, and they'll probably trade half their team just to get Joey Manu. Things like that would be interesting.
Yeah, we'll shake things up a bit. I'd be open to that. All right, here's the next one. Would you rather knock the ball on coming out of your try line, causing the other team to score a try, tie the game up, or would you rather miss the game-winning conversion at the grand final?
Do I need the kick to win it so the other team's up by 1?
Yeah.
Probably the second one, because if I miss it, then I miss it. I don't think anyone's going to be like... Because you didn't say that the kick's right out in front, right? Like, the kick could be anywhere. Right.
Yeah, but not like
So
a
it could be
too
like-
difficult of a kick. Not too difficult. Like, it's a makeable kick.
Makeable. I'd probably still go with that one, because people would be like, oh, the pressure, the moment, as opposed to that, the first one, again, hate to. I just brought his name up before, but again, Ben Hunt, people still don't let that down. You know what I mean? Like, they're still talking about they dropped the ball in their final. So yeah, I'll have to go with that second one. If I miss it, I miss it. You know, I think people would get over that one quite quickly. Like, oh, you had a chance, you know, at the moment. But yeah, that would be my answer. I've only got one more for you, and it's: Would you rather be a role player on a championship team, or a Dalai winner on a trash team?
Oh, so that's going to kind of be similar to the one that I was going to ask in the next one. Damn, do I want to be like a Robert Horry or a Charles Barkley?
Pretty much, yep.
Damn. Yeah, nah, to be honest, I'll take that Dalai, man. I'll take that Dalai. I'd rather have people trying to do that Rawiri rather than just being that guy who just got a ring, because like, I'm probably a bricklayer in my off time. So
you got to remember, right? Like, you win that Dalai, they got to pay you. You know,
exactly.
Get paid.
Exactly. No more bricklaying for me.
I need that money.
Yeah, cheat. Yeah, well, the next one that I was going to ask is, would you rather be on the best team to never win a championship, or would you rather be on the worst team that's always getting the wooden spoon?
Best team to never win a championship, or always on a wooden spoon? Nah, I can't be on that wooden spoon, eh? Gotta go with the first one. You know, it's just, I feel as though at some point, if you keep winning the wooden spoon, your love of the game just goes out, right? And you're just looking for a way out. Probably not as. It'll just be hard to go to work. You know, hard to go to work knowing that you're gonna lose every game.
Nah, but you don't know that you'll lose. You just, every year, you fellas try your best. And even if, you went 20 games with, like 4 losses, every other team went 22 games with 2 losses.
You have to get over that feeling of losing. Couldn't do it. Could not do it.
The final one I was going to ask is, have you seen that one that was going around a little while ago? Would you rather take $1 million, or would you try and get $100 million and make 1 yard in the NFL?
Oh,
have you seen
I'm
that
going
one?
with guaranteed. Yeah, I have, but I'm going with guaranteed money every time. Just give me
right.
I'm good. Like,
so
I get like 100 mil. That's like I get 100 mil, like that. That's heaps, and it's only 1 yard, but
that's 1 yard.
That's and it's a lot of variables, right? Like, if the other team know that I need 1 yard and what I'm going to get, they will sell out, to make sure that I don't get it. Or, be like, brother, I got you 10 mil, G, surely, just, got you, just let me get that 1 yard.
But you got to get that whole D line to let you get that 1 yard.
Yeah.
So you might not even have 100 mil by the end of that.
Like, I'll pretty much have to pay that D line. Like, I'll be like, bro, got you $1 mil each, and then I got to pay my O line. Like probably 2 mil, because if they hear that I paid the D line 1 mil, they'll be like, brother, like, you better pay us double. You know what I mean?
100.
So that's like, good, like fucking whatever it is, 10, 15 mil gone. But and even then, I could still fumble the ball, whatever. So guaranteed money, especially $1 mil. Yeah, I'm taking that.
So here's the NRL version of that, G. So would you rather take just 1 milli, but if you take that, your team doesn't make a grand final for the next 10 years, but You could double that, go for $100 million, but within one set of 6, you've got to make on your own a positive of 5 meters.
5 meters.
So if you, for the first hit up, make 2 meters, but then, you pass it on the next one, someone else moves up, but then your next hit up, you've got to make 3 meters, and that's your 5 meters. But if on the last tackle, you get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, you lose meters, money gone.
Money gone. Does the other team know that I'm trying to get the meters?
Yeah, it's a whole spectacle. It's a whole event.
Oh,
and you've got to go up against
so they're all there.
the best defensive team. Or take the $1 million and don't see your Bulldogs play in a grand final for 10 years.
How old will I be in 10 years? Do I even think we can win it in 10 years? Do I think we can make a final in 10 years? You would think so, but... Wait, when was the last time we made the final? 2012? Was it 14?
No,
I think it was 2014 because there was... Yeah. I think that's 2014 because there's a thing saying that the Bulldogs always make the finals in 4s, like 04, 2014. Which would mean this would be the year we make it. So if I take the milli now, that 4 would still be thing, and the next one would be in... Yeah. I'm taking the $1 million.
All right, so that's what you take, the milli?
Yeah, 5 meters. I mean, I can run quick side, like left and right, pretty fast, But I don't know about that positive.
The positive gains. But you've been working out, you've been doing the CrossFit.
They don't help you on the league field. They just, those dudes are massive. I'll just get folded.
Fair. That was a good round of Would You Rather. There's some good ones there, man. There's some good ones make you think. What do you find, I think, at home of the Would You Rathers? Is there anyone in particular that stood out that you'd be like, yeah, I could do it? Or do you reckon you could do the hit-ups? Do you reckon you could make 5 meters in the NRL against professional rugby league players? Also, you can't be a professional rugby league player. Like, if you're a Cam Smith and you just happen to see this podcast, you're like, yeah, I could do it. Obviously, you're the bloody goat. Of course you're going to be able to do it. But yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you guys would think. Look, and we'll jump into the news, The big news coming out of Aotearoa today is Stacey Jones has been appointed the new coach of the Kiwis, our international rugby league team. Is it until 2026? I think I saw.
Yeah, that's what I saw as well, till the next World Cup.
Yeah. So far, he has a win percentage in the NRL of 18.18%, winning, this is with the Warriors. He won 2 games and had 9 losses in his 11-game coaching stint with the Warriors. In New South Wales/Queensland Cup, his coaching tenure with the Warriors reserve grade spanned 2 seasons, 2015-2016, where he coached 48 games, achieving a win rate of just over 52%, showcasing his ability to develop local and emerging talent. Obviously, his playing career needs, no critiquing at all. He's arguably the greatest New Zealand rugby league player of all time. He's definitely, my all-time 7 from Aotearoa. Sorry, Sean. Stacey, he is a phenomenal player. I'm just a little, and it's not a knock to Stacey Jones at all. I'm just a little skeptical. I thought maybe they could have gone the route of hiring Wayne Bennett because he threw his name in the hat, and then has Stacey as an assistant to Wayne Bennett, and Wayne Bennett bring him up that way. Or if they can do something similar to what they did in 2008 and have Wayne Bennett as an assistant to Stacey, same as Wayne was an assistant to Kearney back in the day, maybe something like that, just so he can learn from the master himself. I just think that was potentially, a lost opportunity there for the New Zealand Rugby League to cash in on the greatness that is Wayne Bennett. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Like, you were just saying his NRL record wasn't that flash, but that 2022 season from the Warriors wasn't flash either.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what he's like with, a stacked team. Hopefully he can get some of those other boys to commit to the Kiwis. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does. Yeah, I was kind of like you. It would have been cool to see Wayne Bennett come over, but I kind of think they always had their mind on a Kiwi to coach the Kiwis. Kind of looked like when they made Madge decide, they probably would have had someone lined up or in mind. But yeah, man, good luck to him. Hopefully the boys get up.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to see Stacey Jones be successful. Obviously, Kiwi boys ourselves. It's great for the game of rugby league. I think it might be a little bit rocky to begin with because the Kiwis are coming off that 30-0 win against Australia in the Pacific Cup. I know Australia will be coming back to give us a bit of a reminder that they are still the number one team in the comp. So I think it's going to be a difficult road ahead, but I know we've got some strong players. We've got a lot of depth in New Zealand Rugby League at the moment, and I think Stacey will have the respect of the players. I'm sure some of them would have still been able to see him. I don't know, man. There's some young bucks coming through these days. I forgot Stacey played 2002 grand final. So it's been a few years since Stacey played, but hey, he's still a big name in the community. I'm sure he'll bring in some big names with him into the training staff. Like I'm sure Ruben Wiki will be around, probably a Monty Beetham. Does the signing of Stacey Jones, do you think that will help Roger make a decision in terms of whether he'll come back to New Zealand Rugby League, or do you think he'll decide to jam for Samoa?
That's a good question. Kind of depends where Arteta's head's at. It would low-key be cool to see him jam for Samoa. That'd be cool as, But obviously we'll never say no to him playing for the Kiwis. I'm not too sure what their relationship was like. His relationship was with Stacey. Whether he just came back to focus on the Warriors and rest during the off-season, or if he wants to give... Because he's probably still, easily still good enough to make the team. And that World Cup ain't too far away. He's probably still be around for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think obviously if he plays for us, it'd be a huge plus. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to see him jam that in that Samoan top.
Yeah, no, I think he'll go well in that Samoan side, but oh man, could you picture him in the centres, him, Joey Manu? Foo. That'd be deadly, man. That'd be a stacked lineup. Holy hicka.
Yeah,
well, there's
yeah, that's like the thing, right? Where does he play? Do you put him at centre? Does Manu play? Do they both? Is that the centre pairing, or do you put one at the fullback and they just switch between the two? And who plays that other? Because their centre spot was kind of our weakness in that World Cup, with Manu being at the back. Not that it hindered us in any way, but it'd be good to have centres at the spot. But I think with Matt Tomoko and them coming through, those young bucks, I think we're good either way,
Yeah. Like we say, there's plenty of potential in this New Zealand squad. I'm excited for them. They just also signed Dynasty as their apparel maker. So the same people who are making the Warriors gears, they're now making the Kiwis gears. So look out, they might do a bit of a throwback. But yeah, who knows? We might see some decent Kiwis gears for once. I know I'm definitely looking forward to picking up some new Kiwis gears anytime now. What else is on the agenda in terms of news around the league? This weekend, most of the trial games are being played with the B squads. A lot of the youth grade squads are being played because a lot of the teams are getting ready for round one. I know the Roosters, the Broncos, the Rabbits, and the Sea Eagles are fielding weaker teams so they can rest their big guys up for the Vegas, because obviously Las Vegas is a big deal for the NRL. I think they signed like another 3 or 4 year contract to have the opening round in Las Vegas. So other teams are going to be going over there. So the 4 teams that are heading over there now have to really set a strong platform. And so I think, they'll be resting a lot of their key players this weekend. However, there has been complaints. I remember reading an article early last week that the teams weren't happy about how expensive it is to get over there. You've got to try and rent fields that are grass turf, because in America a lot of it's AstroTurf. So that's difficult in itself. Obviously, flying all your staff, the team over there, hotels, it's ranking up to be quite an expensive trip. The Roosters are able to foot the bill real easily, obviously. The Braves got deep pockets. However, the rest of the clubs are going to struggle, and I'm interested to see whether or not, these 4 teams go back next year or other teams go. I think they want to try and share it around so every club has a chance to play over there. I just think that, it's super costly, and if you're a club that doesn't make a lot of money, it's going to be a hard ask to head over there, and then you potentially missed out on new fans.
Yeah, true that. But, I guess they're going over there for exposure, right? To try and get the game running up over there. So, obviously, you have to look at it kind of as an investment, right? It's going to be expensive, but you could reap the rewards of going over there. Like you said, all that fan exposure, you might get opening yourself up to a whole new fan base, So, it's a good initiative. Hopefully it goes well. Yeah, that grass turf thing I don't know why Americans like playing on that. Half of the NFL apparently don't like it. They would rather play on just normal grass as opposed to that turf. I can't stand turf. I just feel as though every time you fall over, you're just scraping everything. That shit hurts. So, yeah, but cool initiative. I was just thinking, how come they don't take the whole first round over there? But I guess, they'll be expensive, or even take like the short version. Maybe they bring back the 9s, take it over there. Or you would have thought, I guess you couldn't really. But do the triple header in that last game be the World Cup challenge, like the Penrith, or the one of the NRL versus the one of the Super League. Try to get the Super League involved. Like, I know the aim of the game was to get the NRL up, but surely if rugby league is to take that next step, they're going to have to work together. So that'd be a little cool thing. I don't know why they don't do that as a pre-season fixture, like NRL versus Super League. They swear they've done it before.
Yeah, like more teams, rather than just the top 2 teams, the winners of the comps from last season. I reckon, like maybe top 3 or 4 teams head over and face their top 3 or 4 teams and just promote the game. I think as well with the Las Vegas game, a lot of it is to do with new sponsorships. What they're trying to do is expose the teams to new brand deals. They're trying to pick up, large American companies to jump on board and sponsor some of the teams. So if they see it as an exciting package, not just the televised stuff, but also what you see on field, and if they see an opportunity where their branding and marketing can work or align with some of these sports clubs, I think that's what a lot of the teams are hoping for when they head over there. But it's a lot to hope and wish for, especially when the NRL is unable to foot some of the expenses to get you over there, because you need to get over there a few days early, or maybe even a week early, start training, practicing, acclimatise to the heat, Or is it? No, it's not hot over there at the moment. It's cold. It's winter. I don't actually know how
Yeah.
Vegas works. It's a desert. I'm assuming it'll still be hot, but who knows? People were
You would hope
wearing
so.
jackets and things at the Super Bowl and at the Formula One in Las Vegas. So who knows? Who knows? But exciting things to come. I thought now we'll have a jam at some of these team previews. Our final few teams to preview. Who wants to go first? You or me?
You can go first.
All right. Well, up first, I'm going to go with the Brisbane Broncos. Obviously, this is my team. Super hyped. We touched on these teams earlier in the season, in our podcast season, episode 1, I think, but we didn't quite do an in-depth analysis like we are about to do here. So, big news is with the Broncos this year, the departure of Herbie Farnworth, Thomas Flegler, and Selwyn Cobbo moving from the wing into the centres to cover that loss of Herbie. And we also lost Kurt Capel. So a lot of changes, I think, from our grand final playing, not winning, grand final playing team. So I'll start off with how it goes. We've still got the electrifying Reece Walsh at fullback. This is the predicted team from NRL.com, by the way. They've got Dean Mariner on the wing, so he initially come in to play in the centres, but Cobbo wants to play in the centres, and Kevy's all about keeping Cobbo happy, because Cobbo he's an electric player. When he's on, he's on. So you got Mariner on the wing, Cobbo, then Staggs in the centres, Jesse Arthur's on the other wing of Asterix Jesse, and I'll come back to that. Ezra Mam and Adam Reynolds in the halves. We got Payne and Fletcher Baker at the props, with Billy Walters taking that 9 position. We got Brennan Piakura, Jordan Biriki, and Paddy Carrigan rounding out your edge boys. And then we got Corey Pakes, Kobe Hetherington, Xavier Willison, and Corey Jensen rounding out the 17. Now, I put an asterisk next to Jesse Arthur's only because we've got Tristan Saylor, who's slowly emerging himself as, a big-time player who shouldn't be left off the 17. So where does he go? I say he should be put on the wing initially and then cover Reece during Origin period at fullback, because Tristan's naturally a fullback. And then Dean, I've got an asterisk next to him because I see Corey Oates still putting his hand up to play on the wing as well. And then we've also got the likes of Jordan Pereira, who is another one who could come into consideration. However, he's a little bit further down the picking order. So we've got, options there, which is good for us because obviously Herbie was a great option. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. We've also got, what's his name? Tekura. Is it Benjamin? Yeah, Benjamin Tekura. That 19-year-old 7-footer. He's almost 7 foot. He's 6'9". But 17 years old. I could see him making his way onto the bench towards the end of the season. Who else do we have on the squad? We've also got Smoothie, who could probably come on to that bloody 14, that utility role. It'll probably be between him and Corey, who's going to be taking over that utility role. That'll probably be just relieving Billy Walters for a couple of spells. Marty Tapau, whether or not he fights his way back onto the squad, because I see they haven't named him there. So he's another one that will definitely be wanting to fight for some extra minutes this season. and it's just good to know that, we've locked up the likes of Ezra Mam till 2029, Brendan Piakura till 27. We've got Mariner till 27. Reynolds is off contract at the end of this season, so it will be an interesting season for him. Really hope that we lock him up. I know he's aging a bit, but it's that experience and his ability to guide the boys around the field, and his kicking, man. He got that ball on a string, and when he gets injured and he's not on the field, the boys really miss it. Ezra Mam's able to step up, and anyone off the bench is able to step up, but we really do miss him. And then we've got what's his name? Blake? Is it Blake Moser? Who's an up-and-coming player as well. So hopefully we see him at some point this year, and he will potentially take on some of that hooker role from Billy Walters. So there's lots to be excited about, Broncos fans. I'm excited for the season to start out, especially after watching them just decimate the Cowboys in the weekend. The Cowboys really, they only scored because of our errors. So, hey, I'm excited for this season. Broncos fans, you guys should be too, because we're in for a ripper. I've got high hopes for us. The TAB have high hopes for us. I think the TAB is paying us out at like $3.60 to win the grand final. I'm a betting man. I'm putting down $50 on that. We're going all the way this year, Fano. We might even be lucky enough to take out minor prems. I think we're gonna be in for a good season. So buckle up and just go for the ride, Broncos fans, because we're here. Yeah, over to you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, you got all right to be confident going into this year after what happened last year. I know you lost some key pieces, Flegler, Herbie Farnworth, but I think you will be all right. Just their forward pack is so strong. Payne Haas, Kerrigan leading the way, your edges. Brendan Piakura, he's the one that we almost signed like 2 years ago. He toured the Bulldogs. It was pretty much a done deal. And then he backflipped at the last minute. And yeah, you guys got to keep him. So I remember hearing at the time that he was really good. So I was hoping he would come over. And he was still young at the time. Would have been, like 19 or something? And yeah, we think we was going to sign him on $500,000, $500K.
Damn.
For like a 90 year. And I think you guys ended up getting him for that. But yeah, apparently he was just dominant at age group, and we were looking for just quality anywhere at the time. So he was a little bit gutted. It looked like the deal was done, but he decided to stay there, and probably for the best, to be honest. Yeah, but that rookie, that number 9 you guys got, that Blake dude, I've heard nothing but good things about him. So yeah, it could be that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in your team a lot quicker than people think. That Billy Walters and Corey Pax better watch out, because he's coming, and it's really just a matter of time. And pretty much you got your spine for the next, which you would hope, the next 10 years. Him at 9, Man at 6, Walsh at 7, or maybe Walsh eventually does the Lockyer and moves into the half. Yeah, but do you have a backup to Reynolds? Do you have another 7?
Not quite. I think there's a few down in junior grade, but yeah, our biggest training squad at the moment player is in our development list is Israel Leota. I think he's a centre. I watched some of his highlights. Man, he runs. So I'll be looking forward to him coming up maybe next season. Next season he might have our jam, but yeah. No, we got some depth there. I think we need another 7. But I think they're potentially waiting to buy someone again.
Wait, I swear I've seen a name. Wait, Kurt Fors. Wasn't he the one? You got him from Panthers, right? He used to be in a Panthers squad, because Kurt Fors, I think he's your guys. He's starting at 7 for you this week, and your guys' B team, because the A squad's going over to Las Vegas.
I don't know.
already?
My list here isn't that big.
Oh, that'd be for the. He must be on a trial then.
Yeah, because he's
on
not
that
contracted. Yeah, he's not on the contracted list
Yeah.
because I got the contracted and player development squad with all the years that everyone's contracted.
Yeah, so he should be interesting to see how he goes because he looked good in the few games he got for Panthers. I think it was during Origin when they blood in the newbies. I was surprised they didn't hold on to him. Yeah, because there were heard good things about him coming out of that system. So he could be an option for you, even if he's on a training trial. He probably makes the squad, especially if he's lacking in the halves.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
But I think they'll keep Adam Reynolds for another couple of seasons. I don't feel like he's falling off anytime soon, and he's been quality for the Broncos for the time that we have had him. So yeah, I feel like the Broncos will do right by him. I hope they do anyway, because he's a lot of the reason why we made it to the grand final last year.
Yeah, definitely. But all right then, but that's enough of your Broncos. And we will move on to my Bulldogs. So looking at them, quick look at last year, forgettable year last year. We started off good, man. We were 3-2 in the first 5 games. We even knocked off the Storm, in which was one of our definitely more memorable wins. But the way we played that game was just dominant. Kind of went downhill from there. Kakar got injured. We had a lot of injuries. And then our defense just became non-existent when the Knights wanted to put like 80 on us. And then they almost put another 80 on us when we played them like 2 weeks later. So tough season for the boys. They finished with a record of 7 wins, 17 losses. Had easily the worst defense in the league. Their points differential was the biggest in the negative, minus 331. So a lot to learn, and Cameron Serrata going into his second year. But looking at the predicted lineups, again, this from NRL.com. I'm just going to say it and then I'll tell you guys what I think anyway. So they have Critter at fullback. On the wings, they've got Josh Adokar and Blake Wilson. In the halves, Jacob Perez, Connor Tracy. Oh, the centres I meant. That's Perez and Connor Tracy. In the halves, we've got Burden and Hutchinson. The front row is comprised of Max King, Josh Curran, and Reed Mahone. Second row, Jacob Preston, William Kikau. They have Kurt Mann at 13. And then off the bench, they have Blake Taff, Samuel Hughes, Salmon, and Liam Knight. Now that team there, it's not too bad, but it's not how I would have them. If you've been listening to the podcast, I've gone back and forth for where Critter should play. I had him at centre because he's one of the best centres, and then he kind of needs the ball for our team, so I put him at fullback. But I think Blake Taff showed me enough in that first game for me to be comfortable with putting Critter back at centre. So I would have Blake Taff at that fullback position. On the wings, I'd have Adokar and I'd put Perez there. I know they're thinking about pushing him to the centre, but I think he's a good enough winner. Blake Wilson, he's good, but he's still quite young. So I'd still go with Perez. I think his energy and his runs out the backfield, how he just runs hard. Absolutely love it. In the centres, I'd have Critter and probably would have went with Connor Tracy, but I think he's still injured. And Bronson Cherry, I know he missed 4 years, but he looked good. Once he got the rust off, he started running even harder, and he's almost forced his way into the team. So that would be my centre pairing. I agree with NRL.com, Matt Burton and Drew Hutchinson. I just like Drew Hutchinson's experience, being an old head there, being able to lead the team well. I know Toby Sexton had a real good trial game, but I just think that's just a better pairing. The props, Max King, he's pretty much almost the leader of their props now, and I don't know if Puasa is allowed to play because he's on somehow, according to Zero Tackle, he's on a development deal, so he might not be able to be named until like round 10 or round 11, whenever that process happens. So, but I would probably have him there, and our second rows, there's nothing, we don't have to get fancy there. Just put Kakao on one side, Preston on the other, you're good. And at 13, this is another one that I've gone over in my head. Is it Curran? Was it Kurt Mann? Or was it Salmon? I'd probably go with more lean towards Curran at 13. And then off that bench, I'd go with Kurt Mann. Samuel Hughes, who it looks like Phil Gold is right again. He had a ripper of the game on the weekend, and he's had big raps. Carraz was saying that apparently he's the fittest at our club, wins all the fitness tests, and he's a prop. Got a motor. He looked good on the weekend against the Storm B team. Hopefully he can back that up against the Sharks. I think that's their starting props. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes there. Salmon, I think he's good enough to make the team, make that 17. He could probably switch for that 13 role between him and Curran, or if he has to go to edge, or he could just cover many spots. And Liam Knight, I think he played his way out of the team in that trial, so it could be a world that he doesn't even make the 17. I'm not actually sure if I would have him. To be honest, I'd probably go with... we don't have many options. Probably like a Kurt Mann or Curtis Morris. Another small nuggety player, but boy, he runs hard and he just goes hard. He never takes a back step. He's got a good run up. He might not make meters like everyone else, but he just brings energy. We're going to have easily one of the smallest forward packs in the whole of the NRL, probably the smallest. But maybe we just have to make it up in other ways. So, yeah, that's who I would have in my 17s. Stories to watch, or players to watch, I should say. I think it's about time Burden take that next step. And I think with a consistent number 7, with a halves partner that hopefully he can build that relationship with, he will. I know people were talking about him shifting back to centre. But to be fair, he's gone through so many different partners in the halves. I don't know how you could expect him to be successful when his number 7's always changing. And even he was thrusted into that number 7 position. But I would say he needs to talk more. I just don't think he's a talker by nature. His game's all about running the ball. He's got that boot, but yeah, if he's to take that next step, which we definitely need him to, then yeah, he needs to just be a little bit more vocal and just demand the ball. Step up when the time calls for it, because he's definitely got the ability. And yeah, so he'll be my player to watch out for, would be the one and only Matt Burden. And the storyline to watch is, I'm pretty sure the Bulldogs are getting sued. For that, you remember that story that happened last year about the player that was late to training, and then he got made to wrestle the whole squad, and then left and didn't return to training, and it went to the Players Association, and I think that player's looking to sue the Bulldogs because they can't talk about it. It's like a legal matter now. Yeah. Even though I'm pretty sure we all know who it is. Well, I think I know who it is. Yeah.
Damn.
To me, it makes sense that it's him, because I haven't heard anything about him or even seen a photo of him. So yeah, it's a tricky situation because apparently he's still in our top 30, but we haven't paid him. It's like we've released him, but the NRL still has him in our top 30. Sticky situation, man. But hopefully it gets sorted. Yeah.
Legal matters. Ooh.
Yeah, so that'd be... I don't think it will affect the team. I think they're just going to leave it in the hands of, who they have to leave it with. Yeah, hopefully the boys get up this year. And I just want to see improvement, man. I don't think we'll make the top 8. I think we can push, but it might be a step too far. If we had another big bopper in that front row, I'd be more inclined to say, yeah. Or if we had a dominant 7. But yeah, as long as we improve from last year, I'll be happy because our young bucks are coming through and they look good. They look good. Yeah.
Yeah, the new era of players are coming along, and they're coming pretty quickly, and they're skilled, man. Like you've been watching league for such a long time, and you see names that you're so familiar with, and then all of a sudden these young bucks are taking them out, and you're like, oh, what happened to such and such? But it's this new breed of talent, man. They are something different. This next gen, they get them old heads a run for their money.
The Bulldogs, we definitely seen it on the weekend in that trial. And Phil Gold, he's been telling us it's a 5-year plan. I think this is year 3. And seeing all those youngins play against the Storm, it was like, oh, okay, I see what he means now. It's going to take time. And, man, they look good. That spine looked good. Bailey Hayward, he looked good at 9. I think they had O'Neill at 6. He looks like a player. I can't say his name, but I was last saying Papali at fullback. Haven't even mentioned Kyle Oloapu, who's going to miss the whole season, and hopefully he can get back to playing league. He's got that neck injury. It's not too sure which way it's going to go. So hopefully he's around because I think he could be a dominant player. And we just signed Mitchell Wood, 16-year-old, who's, again, he's been touted as a future superstar in that spine. And I think they were looking at him at potentially the long-term partner for Burden because he's already signed till the end of like 2027, I think.
True.
There's like 5 players in our squad who are signed through till 2027, and he's one of them. We got Burden, Crichton, Carrez, Preston, and yeah, Mitchell Woods. They're the only players that have signed through till 2027. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But yeah, the future's looking bright for us. This year's probably not, but you never know. Hopefully in 5 games I'll be changing my tune, but something tells me I'm going to be looking forward to the 2025 season by week 5. Yeah.
At least keeping it realistic. What are your expectations for the team this season? Are you looking for any particular star to just step out as an emerger, like you said with Burden? Is there anyone else you want to see step out? Is it Critter? Does he put his hand up and say that he's a leader now? What is it that you're looking for from the boys this season?
Just defense would be nice. If they can play some defense, that'd be solid. But I think they got to do it as a collective, like Critter has to kind of step up his game. He's at a new club now. He's a 3-time championship, so he knows what it takes. So hopefully he brings that experience with him. Josh Adokar is a great leader, vocal. So yeah, definitely looking for all of them to step up. And then now we're going to see who the real leader is. Is it Burden? Is it Reed? Or do we have to find another captain in that forward pack? Which one of these utilities wants to no longer be a utility and be an actual, play one position and take that next step? We've given heaps of people chances. I only brushed over Josh Curran. But, everyone talked about we signed all these utilities. We pretty much gave them all 2-year deals. Or some of them 1-year deals. So, this is your chance. You've been given an opportunity, come play for the Bulldogs, prove what you're worth. And is it going to be that, you'll be here for a year and you'll be out the door, or step up to that plate and maybe get regular in our time? Because that's pretty much what they all came over for. Most of those utilities, they weren't getting a shot. Well, now you got your shot. Let's see what you can do with it. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. A long year, something tells me.
Well, you're talking about a long year. Well, this next team's come off a couple of long years, back-to-back long years. I think maybe even ever since 2005, they've been coming back from long years. So, unfortunately, Brother Vince isn't here to talk about his team. However, you've got us. You've got me. I'm a Benji fan, so I'll give them as much praise as I can. However, there's not a lot of praise to be given. I think this is another rebuild year for the Tigers. However, they might catch a few teams by surprise. I don't think they're going to catch enough people by surprise that they'll make the jump into the top 8. However, I think they will catch a few people by surprise and work their way up the ladder a little bit. I think maybe they make it to 14th. Anything above 14th, I think, is a huge win for Tigers fans. So let's dive into this team. So again, NRL.com, this is where we're getting these team lists from. Jareen Buller is listed as their fullback here. Out on the wings, they've got Charlie Staines and Junior Tupou. In the centres, they've got newly acquired Justin Olam and Stafford Tor. In the halves, they've got Aiden Caesar and Jaden Sullivan. The forwards look like Stefano Utoi Kamanu, David Clemmer and Api Korosau, Isaiah Papali'i, John Bateman and Whanua Pole round out the edges, with Samuela Fainu, Alex Twal, Asu Kipoa and Justin Matamua rounding out their 17 on the bench. Now, the key ins for this team is Alatu Fainu, Samuela Fainu, and Jaden Sullivan, Aiden Caesar, Solomon Alai Molo, and Justin Olam. Outs, obviously, the biggest out is Luke Brooks. Going to see if he is that guy over in Manly, or if it was, if it was the Tigers killing him, or if it's just him. He's just mid. So we'll find out. I hope he has a good season. I'd hate to see anyone be as criticised as he has been over the years, not succeed. So good luck to him out there. Then they got Tommy Tolo, Dane Lowry, Sean Blaw, and David Nofaluma, who's just been released. So those are the key outs. Look, rebuild time. Rebuilds are difficult, but with the new coach at the helm, it looks like he's clearing shop with Nofaluma getting just booted off the team. So they're looking to create capacity, it seems, for Jerome Luai's arrival in 2025. That's the big news for the Tigers. That's what they're looking for, really, is 2025. They don't really care about the next season. They're just waiting for next year when the arrival of Jerome Luai. Is he the saviour that the Tigers need? Well, we'll find out, and I guess that'll be the key topic for next year's preview. We'll be talking about that in greater detail. The arrival of Aiden Caesar, that's an interesting one to look at. He played really well in the weekend against the Warriors, so Tigers fans, you guys will be able to get behind that. It was a great welcome back to Aiden Caesar in the NRL. Jaden Sullivan, another player poised to help lead the Tigers' attack in the halves there. Justin Olam, I think that is an underrated arrival. Coming from the Storm, and he is a big body, man. He punishes. So that's a great look for the Tigers. They've got Latu Fainu, 18-year-old. He's highlighted as a future star, and he could potentially be challenging Caesar and Sullivan for that starting spot later on in the season. Maybe sooner rather than later, who knows, but it's going to be an interesting one to look out for. There's a few competitions for the outside backs with Josh Fillaty and Brent Naden contending for spots alongside Stafford Tor, indicating that depth in the squad could be leveraged to this team's advantage. So, look, 2022, 2023 wasn't your year. 2024 won't be either. But at least you've got 2025 to look forward to. And you guys can play pinochle with the Dragons for the wooden spoon. But good luck, Tigers fans. Vincey probably would have done this so much more justice than me. But hey, up Benji. He's got a mean coach. He was a mean player. So good luck.
It's a funny one, the Tigers, but I guess the one thing they got going from them is you can't go lower than a wooden spoon. You can only go up, and they got their guy Luai coming over next year. but they also changed their board. The whole board got thrown out. So hopefully with that new board in place, they can start, getting some stability there, and hopefully it trickles down. Stability in the boardroom, stability at the coach. All you got to do is just leave Benji, just give him time, give him time to build the team that he wants and actually support him. And who knows, they might quickly climb the ranks. Hopefully they don't climb too high, but you never know. I was going to say that with... Oh.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that if Benji succeeds as a coach, this is another reason why I think they should have hired Wayne Bennett to be the Kiwis coach and have Stacey learn from Wayne, because Benji is technically an accolade of Wayne Bennett because of his final few seasons he played for Wayne, right? Or that last season with the Bunnies. He was pretty much an on-field coach. So he was learning from Wayne as much coaching as he could. And then he was kind of just being that field general. You've seen it every time he went out on the field. He wasn't the most impactful player out there in terms of, what he was doing with the ball in hand or off ball. It was how he was communicating with the players, telling people where to be in position, similar to that Cooper Cronk grand final when he did his shoulder. He was only on the field to direct the players. I think Benji Marshall would have learned as much as he could. He would have just been a sponge sitting next to Wayne and all of those player trainers, all those player coaches meetings and stuff like that. So I think he'll be able to use a lot of that skill with the Tigers. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he'll rely on, right? He's got so much experience being in the NRL, and they all know him. Who doesn't know Benji in the rugby world? So you would hope that he has the respect there. And those last couple of years under Wayne, probably put him in good stead. One of the players I was going to mention to watch out for, apparently he's been killing it in the preseason, and he did pretty good in the first trial game, was Lachlan Gavin, young buck coming through, and he's a half, and there's talks that he's already pushing to be just in the 17 in general. So
Nice.
if Aiden Caesar and Sullivan don't step up to the plate, we already know who's going to be their 6 next year. Maybe this young buck who's only 18, bro. He's young as. Apparently he's got the goods. And he's signed there till 2026, so he's got a few years. And apparently he was one of the names that got floated when they tried to get Luai over this year. And like a player slot, he was one of the names thrown in. So yeah, name to watch out for, Lachlan Gavin. I haven't actually seen him play. I've just heard good things about him. It'll be interesting to see if he can crack the team early. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I couldn't tell you either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Tigers, you got Buller at fullback, the rookie of... No, he never won Rookie of the Year. Did he win Rookie of the Year last year? Nah, Taruva got it, right? Yeah, I think Taruva got it. But Buller, he's all class at the back there. They had to re-sign him and keep him. You couldn't let him go. Uppy, I felt sorry for him last year at times. Dude was just...
He was on his own out there, man.
All on his own. I don't necessarily like that they have Bateman on edge. I think he's better at 13 for them. I don't know why they don't just put him there. Have him closer to the ball, because he can make things happen. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised that they've kept him there. If I was there, I'll just bring him in at 13. He's too good of a player to sit on that edge, especially in a team like this. Just get him in the middle, get him around the ball. Him and Uppy. It seemed like anything good happened was around those two. So yeah, but that's the Tigers. Hope you guys suck. Please do. And I hope you and the Dragons are fighting out for that wooden spoon.
Unlucky, Vince. Hey, if you were here, man, you probably could have gave them so much more credit, so many more reps than what we gave them. I think we were quite kind in terms of the feedback we gave them. And to all the teams, good luck this season, but not too much luck. especially not to this next team.
So the last team on our preview list for the year is none other than the back-to-back defending champions, the Penrith Panthers. They have pretty much been the team to beat for 4 straight years now. 4 straight finals. They lost their first one and they've won 3 in a row. No one knows how I don't even think they know how they won that final last year, but they got the job done. Ivan Cleary stepped up to the plate. And for a team that constantly loses 2 or 3 starters and key members, the ability to just replace them is just second to none. It's honestly like that machine is so well oiled. It's crazy. I mean, I consider them a dynasty. Like, how could you not? They've been the standard for the last 4 years, and they probably will continue to be the standard for at least this year, I would say. So a quick look at last year. They finished top of the table with a record of 18-6, and a few of those losses came at the start of the season. Quickly looking at NRL.com and who they have as their predicted starting lineup. At fullback, you have the ever-reliable Dylan Edwards. On the wing, they have Taruva and Brighton To'o. To'o's arguably the best winger in NRL, although I don't even think it's arguable at this point. It's just, he probably is.
It's facts.
Yeah. And the same with Edwards. He's at worst top 3, 4. I highly doubt you can name 4 fullbacks better than him. He's just too consistent. At the centre position, they have Tango and Peachy. Solid enough to get the job done. In the halves, you have Jerome Luai, who I like him. He's class as a grub. Yeah, but he, someone has to be.
Yeah. Got to be the villain.
Yeah. Number 7, arguably the best player in rugby league, Ivan Cleary. He's just about done it all. Holds all the accolades. Do you have him as the best player in the world?
Currently?
Yeah.
There's no one better.
Yeah. But the only thing he hasn't won is the Dalai M, and it's because he's in a team stacked, and they steal points off each other, and he plays Origin.
Yeah, I think once they start depleting, I say that, but they have one of the best development systems in the league, because you've seen it year in and year out. They lose players, but I think eventually, the wheels will fall off, and once they stop having players come through all the time, I think then he'll be able to shine, and I think then he'll be able to get the Dally M. It might not come earlier in his career, but he's got the rings. I think he'll definitely get that Dally M later on in his career, because as players mature, they only get better. Like Cooper Cronk, he never got worse as a player. Thurston never got worse as a player. Lockyer never got worse as a player. They always, got better every year. So I think, Cleary, even though he hasn't got one yet, doesn't mean he'll never get one, because that particular position doesn't rely too much on athleticism like a fullback does. It relies on your IQ and how you see and how you view the field. So I think there's plenty of time left in the tank for him to get that W, so he's got no need to worry.
Yeah, perfectly said. Moving on to the front row, you have the Smash Brothers of Moses Leota and James Fisher-Harris. Once again, not many front row combo that can outdo them. The only one I could think of would be your Broncos, but outside of that, not many. They have Mitch Kenny at the 9 here, but he kind of didn't he do something stupid on social media and kind of got into hot waters? I think that might have been him, so I don't know if that affects whether he's playing or not, but yeah, I think he might have did a no-no on the social media side of things. But anyway, carrying on, moving to the second row, you got Scott Sorensen, who just seems to get better with age, and Liam Martin. Liam Martin's just a beast. I personally think, do you think he looks a little bit like Brock Lesnar? Like a young Brock Lesnar? Like, obviously not as big as him, but they got that face.
Just that meat head.
Yeah. So yeah, you got Liam Martin, and then at 13 you've got one of the best locks in the game, Isaiah Yeo, with their ball playing ability, and he's so important to the team. He's always the first receiver. He can run the ball, he can pass the ball, just solid all around. And to finish off their team on the bench, they have Sonny Luke, Lindsay Smith, Luke Garner, and Liam Henry. So not that bench probably shows like the effects of losing so many players, because that's the first time where I don't even know who Liam Henry is. Lindsay Smith, I think I seen a little bit of him last year. He's a young buck. Luke Garner and Sonny Luke. He's the one that everyone thought was going to eventually take over from Mitch Kenny and be that 9, but he hasn't really taken that next step yet. So be interesting to see how he goes now, because I think they kind of had it in their heads that he was going to take over eventually and Mitch Kenny will go back to 14. Hasn't quite happened yet, but again, this is the Penrith Panthers. Storylines to watch out for, or a few things to note of this team, is they've kind of locked down this team for a few years, which is why I think their run can continue.
Yeah.
And why I think it will continue. Because looking at their current squad, they have, I'm just having a quick look here, Nathan Cleary, he's locked in till 2027. Dylan Edwards till 28. You got Fisher Harris, he's locked there till 26. Liam Henry's there till 26. He must be pretty good then. You got Moses Leota, 27. Liam Martin, he just got extended till 27. Who else we got? Lindsay Smith, Scott Sorensen, they're there till 26. Brian To'o, 27, and Isaiah Yeo, 27. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 key players that they have that are going to be there for at least the next 3 years. So
damn,
and those are pretty important players as well. They don't have a 6 yet that they've signed with, just leaving, with Lua leaving. But you got Isaiah Yeo, the Smash Brothers, Cleary, To'o, Sorensen, and Liam Martin. So you got your whole forward pack, your 7, your fullback, and a wing there for the next 3 or 4 years. They can just, I know they've got no money to re-sign players, they're losing out, but they might have money now that Lua's leaving. But they could get players, right? Players will come there to play for cheap to have a chance at winning,
Yeah.
Who's saying no that? They got Paul Alamotti. He's only there for a year. To maybe taking that Critter spot. That's the other thing. Who takes over from Critter? Who plays that centre spot? And yeah, man, this team's going to be... I don't think they're going anywhere. The question is, can they do 4 in a row? Can they
That's
do
it
4
now.
in a row?
It's how many can they go now? It's not will they get it? Will they go back there this year? It's how many can they get? That's the real question. One question I did have was, do you think with the departure of Critter, with the departure of Luai, how much longer will To'o stay there? Because those are his boys. Those are his brothers.
No, To'o ain't going anywhere. He signed there through till 2027. So at earliest, teams can talk to him end of 26. So I don't see it. Maybe at the end of that, he might look to go somewhere else. But those boys all knew that moment was going to come. Eventually someone was going to leave, and I think they've won enough times to know that okay, it's time to go get this bag, look after the family, and who knows, they might end up going back to Panthers for 1 year at the end of their career. If they're still playing well, why not go there? You started your careers there, why not go back? just never know. But I don't see it all going anywhere.
Well, I only say that because the lifespan of a winger isn't as long as the lifespan of a half or a centre. So he's kind of got to look to go sooner rather than later, unless Panthers are willing to throw the bag at him and secure him as a lifetime Panther.
I think they pretty much did with that last contract he got. He probably became, I'd say, one of the highest paid wingers. Maybe because we pretty much had to give Josh Adokar the bag to come over, but wingers, right? Anything above 500,000 is like top end dollar for a winger. And I'd say if he's not there or thereabouts. So yeah. But if he could put on a little bit of weight, I mean, his carries are devastating. Could we see him maybe turn into like, I don't know, like a running forward off the bench as he gets older, like that? I don't know, just throwing names out, like a Dylan Walker or Jazz Tavanga, like those short, nuggety players just in the middle, give him a quick hit up, stuff like that. But yeah, he's gonna be. Looks like he's there probably for life. See how he goes his next couple of years, and then they'll see. Really, yeah. Actually, I was going to ask you a question. What are your thoughts on Ivan Cleary? It seems. Do you think he gets the credit he deserves for like leading them to 4 finals? Because it seems. Do you have him in that same bracket as Trent, as Craig? Is he of that echelon of a coach?
Yeah, man. Look what he did with the Warriors. Like, he's always been there or thereabouts in terms of winning the chip. He just hasn't quite had those key pieces, and now, give him a great team, and he's up there. People, talk about Steve Kerr being one of the greatest coaches of all times, but he also inherited a great team. So, he's obviously lucky to benefit from inheriting a great team, a legendary team. But I think, very few coaches would be able to handle those boys. I know a lot of coaches would want to change the attitudes of those boys. It's just how Brown brothers act. It's just how they be. And you can't change the boys. You just got to get the most out of them. And I think Cleary's probably the best person in that position to do it. Someone else I think could do a similar job is, Benji Marshall. He'd be able to get that same vibe out of them. Because, like, you look at the All Blacks, right? Ian Foster just didn't quite look like that guy that can get the most out of the Polynesian boys. Whereas Razor, he thrives with the Brown boys. Like, he a low-key brother at heart. We know this. And, I don't know how many championships the Crusaders won. I was sick of counting them. No one cares. Shut up, Vince. But, yeah, so I think, Cleary's just that guy that can get the most out of those boys. And I think he really is up there with the Craigs, with the I don't know if he's up there with the Bennetts yet, but yeah, he's well on his way. He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of coaches, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you as well. I think he's up there. He's proven it now. 4 grand finals. I think the last person to do that was Bellamy back in those early Storm days when they wanted to cheat to win those awards. So rightfully so, they got stripped. They're the last 2 I could think of. They went 4 grand finals. But he's up there. And one thing they don't talk about, well, they do talk about a little bit, but everyone always talks about like the players that have left. It's well documented. They've lost so many players. You could almost make another team of players that have left Penrith. And that team will be pretty good. That team would be up there. But they don't talk about how many assistant coaches he's been through.
Yeah.
Trent Barrett was there. He spearheaded that attack, which is why the Bulldogs, we wanted him. We wanted him to take over our attack, and all the players read around how good of a coach he was, his attacking prowess, and it didn't work for us. it was too predictable. You could read it easily, and it just didn't work. But then you go to the next level. Webster went to the Warriors. Look what he's doing over there. People were raving about him. And obviously we got Serrado, who was one of the best rated assistants in the NRL for a little bit and ranked as one of those future great coaches. We've got him over here, and he was, touted as the guy behind their defense, because people don't talk about how much they've changed too. Like that first year when they went on this run and got to the final, their attack was just next level. It was just stupid how good they were on attack. They were just smoking teams. Then next year, Trent Barrett goes out, and all of a sudden, their defense is just next level. And fast forward to now, looking at last year, they're one of the teams that can just beat you so many ways. They can lead from the front, because you never want them to have the lead, or it's almost game over. But they can also chase you down. They can score heaps of points, and if you want to make it a high-scoring game, I think they're fine with it. But if you want to grind it out, and then you want that final score to be 8-6, they're fine with that too. They have so many ways they can play. They can beat you in a number of ways, and you almost have to be damn near perfect just to have a chance to beat them. You have to be a 10 out of 10. They can only be a 6 out of 10 and still beat you. That's how good they are. So yeah, man, it's been a dominant run. It's probably going to keep going for at least this year and next year. But one day, I'm not saying that they're going to win it all, but if I had to put money on right here, right now, I would say them. It's just, I think if they make their top 4 and get that live, it's going to be hard, because it's not often they lose twice in 3 weeks. If they finish 5th or 6th and they only get 1 life, then you never know, because if they lose once in their playoffs, they're done. But top 4, they're gonna have to lose twice. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nah, I don't think so, man. I think they're in. Yeah, they're sitting pretty anyway. I think the World Club Challenge this weekend will be a great benchmark to see where they're at currently. But I know they'll drop a few games at the start of the season. They always do. They have been the gold standard for the past 4 years. Fatigue could be settling in now. They've had the longest schedule than anyone, because they go overseas. They play the World Club Challenge. So their season pretty much starts a week early, because we got pre-season games this weekend where a lot of the young guys are getting runs. They've got to play a full squad, and then it's pretty much round 1 the week after that, eh? So good luck to those Panthers boys. One question I was going to ask you as well is, do you think his time, Ivan Cleary's time with the Warriors, both as a player and a coach, helped him to understand how Polynesian boys operate? And also, this is a 2-parter question, do you think that loose structure that the Warriors used to play during Ivan Cleary's coaching time there helped him understand how to manage the game with the Panthers a lot better?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think his time with the Warriors, him as a player, he just would have been in that environment, and I think that squad there were quite Polynesian heavy. So he's just used to it. I think also as a coach, his demeanor, he's so cool, calm, collected, right? You never really see him too high, you never really see him too low. He kind of just is. And I think that serves him great as a coach, and he probably does know when to push the buttons. But yeah, he's just so relaxed, right? He kind of lets you be who you are. If that's the Island boys want to be, flamboyant and playing their loud music, then why not? At the end of the day, if that's what gets them to play their best league, you'll be stupid to tell them to change.
Hard.
So yeah, I think his time with the Warriors definitely helped. Definitely helped with working or understanding the culture and understanding how they, their worldview, and trying to pull the best out of them would have had to help. And yeah, man, how quick it would have been to see Nathan Cleary in the Warriors top.
Bro, I've seen on podcasts, he said, the Warriors were the team that he wanted to play for. You know, he was like, bro, I would have loved to play for the Warriors. Like growing up, I had all the Warriors gears when his dad used to play there. So, you know, that would have been, imagine him and Sean Johnson, bro. It would have been a whole different, it was
Jeez.
almost the same setup at Panthers, you know, bunch of brown Polynesian boys. They got some speedsters, they got some jokesters, some pranksters, and they just needed that one glue guy that was just solid that can guide them around the park.
Yeah.
And that's him. So, yeah, hey, look, front office at the Warriors will probably be spewing they got rid of Ivan when they did. I don't know why they got rid of him, because he was actually so good. I would have kept him on forever.
Yeah, that was an iffy one, right?
Yeah.
Because you go to the grand final, you would think that you'd be around a little bit longer, and then gone.
Well, it's because that front office thought that they had the team to get there again. But they were wrong. They had the coach to get them there again.
Yeah. That's when the Warriors do what the Warriors do, right?
Not this year. This is their year. This is their year, man. You guys, I'm pumping you, man. I'm pumping you. You guys should be getting to that grand final this season. I'd love to see us there.
Okay, question. If there was a team that would knock them off, who is it? If there's a team that's gonna stop them from getting that 4P, who's your money on?
I've got to go with us or the Warriors, man. It's one of us two. I feel like the Warriors are just that little bit unpredictable. They've got that flair, they got that flamboyance, and that's one thing that the Broncos now have that we haven't had in a long time is that flair that Reece Walsh brings to the squad, that flair that Cobbo brings, the precision that Adam Reynolds brings. I think on our best day we can match them. We've just got to make sure that we stand up on defense. That's what let us down at the grand final. I think it's either us or the Warriors. The Rabbitohs have slowed down too much. I don't see them getting back into the top 4. Roosters, maybe, if they buy a couple of refs on the way there. Melbourne could give it a nudge. I don't know. Like I'll have to gauge it off of this weekend's performance. Not too sure about Melbourne yet, but like you said, they didn't play their A squad. Just trying to go through the list of teams. It'll be interesting to see how the Dolphins go this season. I don't think they're grand final worthy, but I think they'll make that 8. They've got their team's too good now not to. They've stocked up. They've got enough depth there now, so I think they can go. But yeah, I'd have to just go back to the Broncos or the Warriors. Those are my 2 teams.
I was thinking that it might be one of their bogey teams. Like I know they smoked them in that final 2 years ago, but for some reason the Eels seem to give them issues. They give them problems there, and it's a game that the Eels get up for. So it might be like how in those 2000s, how the Warriors were the bogey team for the Storm. You know? So it could be that of one of these bogey teams that just seem to get up and push Penrith to the edge. You never know. It could be one of them that unsettles them and sends them packing. Someone's got to be the one to do it, right? Someone's got to be the team to beat them and knock them off. But easier said than done.
Yeah, like you say, easier said than done. One thing that you did mention was the Warriors Storm. I want to ask your opinion on this. So ANZAC Day used to be Melbourne versus the Warriors every year. This year, it's the Warriors versus the Titans because Melbourne didn't want to give a home game to the Warriors on ANZAC Day.
Slack, eh?
That was
slack those Storm.
That was the match, man. I think it's this. They're a little bit scared of losing to the Warriors on ANZAC Day now because they got a good squad for once. But yeah, come on now. How can you ruin ANZAC Day like that, giving them the Titans?
Storm are going to storm, I guess, if it's not in their best interest.
Yeah.
They just won't do it, the pricks.
Yeah, and that's why no one likes them.
Hey, well, they really need to bring back that ANZAC Test that we used to have.
Oh yeah,
Need
that
more
was
international.
bruh. I
Bring it
love
back,
that
man.
game.
Bring it back.
We used to get smoked every year though, but I loved it.
Yeah.
But I used to just
Yeah.
love watching Billy Slater just get smoked on the late hits by Steve Matai and Isaac Luke.
Yeah.
Ball's gone
You know how
upfield,
our
we're running
Kiwi,
back with it, and then boom.
you know how our Kiwi boys are. We're never good in one-off tests, but you give us a camp, you give
Yeah.
us 4 or 5 games to get together. Oh, we're dangerous, man. We're dangerous. Well, you know,
Watch
those
out.
Aussie boys can, like, you give them 1 week, they're ready to go.
Oh yeah.
We need a longer build-up.
That's also because they come off of like bloody Origin camps, and they used to have city versus country camps for New South Wales. So yeah, look, it's going to be a good season. I'm fizzing for the season. There's so much potential. You know, you can smell it in the air. There's a lot of front runners, but there's a lot of back markers that, you know, like the Bulldogs, that you can't quite take for granted anymore. They're coming back. I think the Tigers, yeah, they'll win on a good day, like they did against the Warriors, 12 men. But you know, it's a good season. Yeah, I think the Panthers probably will go back to back to back to back, but we'll find out. We'll find out. The season hasn't been written yet. It's not scripted like the NFL. But this has been a great show. This has been a great 4-episode special of us reviewing all of the teams. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned a little bit more. You know, in coming weeks we'll be reviewing games, and then we'll be previewing games instead of reviewing teams. So you guys have that to look forward to. Next week we are also going to give our top 100 fittest lads in the NRL. So be sure to tune in for that one. We're also going to do a draft of our all-time teams. So the Broncos versus the Bulldogs. And if you guys leave us some comments down below, see whose team do you think would win. We'll probably pump that one out on Monday or Wednesday, one of the days. And I was even thinking maybe we do our Mount Rushmores on one of the next episodes. Who are our top 4 NRL players of all time? And again, your Mount Rushmore doesn't have to be the best players that you think have ever played the game, but your Mount Rushmore. Who are your favourite players? So look forward to those next week, Whānau. And always, you know, we love having you here on the practice run. Come join the practice squad. Click subscribe down below. Shout out to our primary sponsors, 99 Rings. We appreciate you for giving us this platform. But next week's going to be great. Be sure to tune in to all the footy this weekend. We won't give any tips this week just because, you know, we've spent so much time talking about our teams that we haven't really taken a minute to look at how long we've taken. So, yeah, look, I'm waffling. I'll throw it over to Tu. Any last words, brother?
Good to get another one under the belt. I know everyone's probably wondering, is Vince even real at this point? And I think we're starting to wonder that too. So hopefully he comes up and shows face soon. If anyone, you know, if you want to see any segments coming up from the Cuzzies and that, make sure you check it in our comments. Check it down below. And if you got things you want us to talk about, things like that, feel free to hit us up and we'll see what we can do. But glad that the season's finally back. We're so close to it now. I can't wait. But I'll leave it at that, and I'll see all you guys next week. To the chair, mā te wā.